What's up, Joyfuls? Are you or do you know someone who is a caretaker or a caregiver? If so, tune into this video or tell them to come on over and tune into this video because today we're going to talk about 6 ways to avoid caregiver burnout. 6 ways to avoid caregiver burnout. So come on over, tune on in. If you're new to this channel, what's up? I'm Purity Joy and welcome to Joyfully Yours, where life is our niche and joy is our birthright. So today we're going to be talking about caregiving and specifically to caregiver burnout. And man, do I know about caregiver burnout, especially during this quarantine time. Listen, working from home, being a mom and a caregiver has been, crazy. But these are the times we're in, and even before then, being a caregiver was already a huge load. So I want to help. But first, let me give you a little bit of background on how I became a caregiver. So my mother, about 6 years ago, started to decline in her cognition. And at first, it was kind of hard to tell what was going on with her. We had thought dementia, and then we were in denial that it was dementia because her symptoms were so sporadic and so uncommon for that of a dementia patient. So, by the way, she does have dementia. She has what we call, or what's called, frontotemporal dementia, where the dementia she has affects the frontal lobes. And there are different types of dementia. People thought she had Alzheimer's, but she didn't. We went through testing. And most of the diagnosis that we received for her had to do with us giving them the history and the symptoms that we saw. A lot of times the doctors don't know what type of dementia it is unless they do a CT scan and MRI in combination with symptoms and different things. So it takes a while, and it took us 2 years to really get a diagnosis for her. So it's, the type of dementia she has is known as FTD, frontotemporal dementia, or either Pick's disease. And even under there are different subtypes of the dementia she has. And you have your different types of dementia: Alzheimer's, Lewy bodies, frontotemporal. There are so many different types of dementia. So if that's something that interests you and you're curious and concerned about a family member you have, I can do a separate video on the different types of dementia and what she exhibited that differentiated from that of a different type of dementia. We can discuss that in another video. Just comment below and let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel. Because I will be doing more information or providing more information about frontotemporal dementia. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background as to how I became a caregiver. My mom was very young to have dementia. Most people with dementia start much later. My mom started in her 50s with dementia. And like I said, it took years for it to really progress to the point that she is now. We started to notice symptoms in her. I started to notice symptoms, some different changes in her personality back in 2011. But the hugest changes, the most changes that we saw were in 2014. So that was 3 years before we started to really notice something wasn't right. And then now we're at the point now where she needs total care. 24 hours. And a couple of months ago she broke her hip, so now it's even heavier load than it was before. But I'm so grateful to say that I do have a lot more help. We've made a decision to put her on hospice, and so hospice comes in and helps care for her. I have a caretaker now that comes in and sits with her while I work. And then hospice comes. I have someone that comes and helps the caretaker give her a bath in the morning time, which I didn't have that before, so that's a true blessing. And I also have a nurse that comes once a week from hospice. So they're not here all day, but that little bit of help with the caregiver has been a tremendous help. So that's a little bit of background on how I became a caretaker. Now, let's get into the ways that you can avoid caretaker or caregiver burnout. Now, you can be any type of caregiver. It doesn't have to be that of dementia. You can have a child that has special needs. You can have a parent that has cancer. You can have a parent or a friend or a sister or sibling, any family member, someone that you know and care for daily, or you, this can be your job, you know. So let's get into how you can avoid caregiver burnout, especially when this is what you do all day. Okay, so the first way, and let me give a disclaimer. A lot of these I am still working on. When you're a caregiver, it is not, as the quote says, it is not a race. It is truly a marathon. You're always going to be continuously learning and assessing your, assessing your situation and learning as you go along. There is no easy question or easy guidance as to how you can manage this. It's always a constant assessment and making changes and adjustments, because anything can happen. So be patient with yourself, number one, through this journey, and just know that it's something that you're going to be continuously learning. So the things that I share with you today aren't things that I have totally mastered, but I know that they are necessary and that I need to work better at doing them. So I want to share them with you. So the first thing is assess your needs. Assess your needs. Even though you're being a caregiver, if you're anything like me, I'm very self-sacrificing. I didn't realize this about myself until recently. I can be very self-sacrificing. I usually just saw this as me giving back or having the heart to give back, or just making sure everybody around me is taken care of and their needs are met. But when you're self-sacrificing, you tend to put everybody else before yourself, and you can suffer from that. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure that you're constantly assessing your own needs, making sure that your own needs are getting met. What do you need in this? I've had so many people tell me, Purity, you can't pour from an empty cup, or Purity, you can't do something for someone until you take care of yourself, or you got to put your own oxygen mask on before you put somebody else's on, or you're going to crumble and you're going to crash. And that is very true. I know all about this caregiver burnout thing, because I'm telling you, I have been there fighting to avoid. So one of the things you want to ask yourself is, what do I need? What do I need right now? Do I need assistance? Do I need rest? Do I need a break? Do I need something from the store? Assess those needs and be honest with what you need. There is nothing wrong with, and this is something I have to get through my head, there's nothing wrong with assessing your own needs, and there's nothing wrong with making sure everybody else around you is good, as long as you're making sure that your own needs are. So that is one way that you can help yourself avoid caregiver burnout, is making sure that you are assessing your own needs and getting those needs met. Another way, number two, and these are in no particular order, but another way that you can eliminate feelings of guilt. And yes, I have been guilty of this as well. Feelings of guilt. Feeling bad for wanting to take a break. Feeling bad for assessing your own needs. Feeling bad for just not feeling like doing what you feel like you need to do. I know the thoughts that have gone through my mind are, this is my mother. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to feel like this. What about all the things she did for me when I was younger? Did she ever complain? Did she ever have an issue? And those feelings of guilt can lead you to just try to take on too much and not take care of yourself, because you're always putting out. And if you don't eliminate those feelings of guilt, it's going to send you into a spiraling whirlwind of just carrying more of a load. And I know people love to say, well, he's not going to give you more than you can bear, or, well, you're supposed to do this because your mom did all of this for you, or that person did all of this for you. But we cannot take on so much to the point where we're getting ill ourselves? Or did you know that most caregivers end up getting sick themselves because they have put so much into caring for another person? That is not what you want to do for yourself. That's not what I want for you. That's not what I want for myself. But I have put myself in that position. And you got to eliminate those feelings of guilt, because there is nothing wrong with taking a break, taking time for yourself, and looking out for yourself in the midst of trying to give and trying to care for those around you. So that's another way. Be sure to eliminate those feelings of guilt. Constantly tell yourself, and the way that you can eliminate guilt is constantly telling yourself, it's all right, I need this for me, I'm doing the best that I can. Giving yourself words of encouragement. Go in the mirror in the morning and say affirmations to yourself. I deserve to be happy, I deserve to be loved, I know my worth. Say those things to yourself in the mirror, or meditate on them. If you watched my channel before, you know how big I am on meditation. So meditate on positive things. Meditate on gratitude, things that you're grateful for. Write out, call the things out that you feel like you're guilty for, so that you can eliminate them. There's a acronym that's used in the mental health world. And I can't think of the acronym, but one of the things that you do, or one of the steps in that, is you call out the things that you're scared of. You call out things as they are, so that they can eliminate them. Because the more you try to suppress them, the more they're going to sit there, and they're going to resurface, and they're going to get suppressed again, and they're going to resurface, and you never totally eliminate them from your thoughts, for your spirit. So call out the things that you feel guilty for, so that you can eliminate it, and just keep telling yourself that it's all right, that you are still doing what's best for the person, because you're taking care of yourself in order to be able to take care of them. So eliminate those feelings of guilt. A third way should be common sense, but I'm telling you, I struggled like crazy with this. Ask for help. I can't tell you how many times my family and friends have said, Purity, call me if you need me. And one thing I can say that kept me from asking for help is because I didn't plan ahead. And that's another thing we're going to talk about. I didn't plan ahead, and I would think of something at the drop of a dime, and it's just like, if I need somebody, I would call around and nobody's available, and it's just like, oh God. But if I had planned ahead, maybe I would have the help that I needed. And another reason I hadn't asked is because this is the main reason, y'all. I don't like feeling like I'm a burden, because I've realized that people have their own lives. They have other things going on, and me asking for help, I feel like I'm putting a burden on somebody else. And I hate to be a pest. I hate to be a burden to other people. So that kept me for so long for asking for help. And then another part of that is, as I was going along in this journey, I didn't know what I needed help with. Like, I was learning as I went along. Even as a nurse, it is totally different when the patient is family. And plus, I was a pediatric nurse, so dementia was just not, it was not something that I thought about. Of course, you learn about different things in school, but if it's not something that you do when you get out of school, you kind of lose, you kind of lose those skills, and you lose that knowledge a little bit until something comes up, and it might spark something right here, or it might spark something there. But other than that, as I was going along this journey, I had no idea what I was doing, what I needed to do, even all the research. It was just like I was figuring it out as I go along. So even when people were saying, call me, I couldn't tell you what I needed help with, until I figured this thing out myself. So now I will ask for help. I will call family and say, can you sit with my mom? I really need a break. Or, and right now I probably still don't call as much as I should, but I'm getting better at it. And I want to make sure I give you guys the knowledge that you need as well. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And if someone asks you, or if you need anything, don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to say, yes, this is what you can help me with. If they ask you if you need it, accept it. That was something else that I struggled with. Just asking and accepting help. You know, because I felt like this is my mother. This is nobody else's issue. This is something that I need to be doing on my own. I shouldn't be burdening anybody else. You know, this is something that I have to do for my mother and myself. So I got it, you know, and I'm always a I got it person, not just with this, but with most things, I'm a I got it, you know, type of person. But if you do not ask and accept for help, you are going to get burned out. Do you hear me? Girl, sir, honey, you will get burned out if you do not ask for help. And don't let anybody try to tell you otherwise. I'm telling you what I know from experience. You will get burned out. So accept the help. Ask for help. Because even when the caregiver is here, they're here. Sometimes I find myself still trying to do things when they're here when I should be taking a break. So if you have the help, take advantage of that time to do what you need to do for yourself. Don't keep, you know, don't have to stand over and watch anybody. You know, hire people that you trust. Get people to come help you that you trust, and then teach them what they need to know. Make sure that they understand what you need. Don't be afraid to explain to people what you need from them and be specific about it, so that when you do get that help, you can trust and know that it's being done correctly, and that what you are giving them or what you're asking them to do is in good hands. Don't be afraid to do that. So that's one of the key factors, is accept and ask for help. Before I had my youngest child, I would take trips out of town, a weekend here, a weekend there, just to get away. And I would call a family member to say, okay, can you sit with my mom this weekend? I really need to get away. But since I've had my youngest child, I haven't gone off as much. But me being in the house, especially in quarantine, I still need that time, but I really haven't taken it because there's really nowhere to go. So just take advantage of, don't misuse your help. Don't misuse your help, but take advantage of the time that they're giving you. And I have people call me all the time and say, is there anything I can do for you? Do you need help? And I'm still saying no, because at the time there isn't anything. But I'm sure if I think of anything and I need that help, they're there for me to call. So be sure that you get that help and take that help that is offered to you. And don't be afraid to ask. That is so key. That is so essential. That is so important. Do that for you and for the person that you're taking care of, because you all need it. Okay, the fourth thing I mentioned in my last point, and that is plan ahead. Procrastinator. I am such a procrastinator. Oh my goodness. I have been dealing with this all of my life. I think it's just a part of my makeup. It's just a part of my past personality of who I am. And I need to work on this. But I know for certain if I plan ahead, I probably wouldn't get as stressed. Because being a caregiver is going to be stressful. I don't think it is inevitable. Like, you're going to get stressed at some point during your caregiving or caretaking experience. But planning ahead will make things simpler for you. Like I said, if I plan ahead, I could probably do more. But I have a tendency to wait till the last minute, or just think of something spontaneous that I need to go and do, and then I'm stuck because I don't have the help because I didn't plan ahead. So plan ahead. Like, even if you know you want to get away, plan a trip a couple of weeks out. Go ahead when you're thinking about planning that trip or planning that day to yourself. Go ahead and set up the help or care that you need to come in or whatever have you. And that way you're not upset with yourself or frustrated because you don't have the help that you need when you need it. Planning ahead is so essential, and it makes things so much simpler. I can't stress that enough. I think planning ahead helps with every step that I will mention here today, even with assessing your needs. As you're assessing your needs, you can plan ahead. You can plan, like if you know you have a day, one day a week that you want to do something, go ahead and plan for other weeks ahead and just let whoever know, or your caretaker or whatever. You know, things going to come up at the last minute. There are going to be things that you want to do. I mean, life changes tremendously when you become a caretaker, because like someone like me that was used to spontaneously doing whatever I wanted to do, to now having to plan to ensure that I have care for my mom before I go do anything, it's a huge transition. It still is a huge transition for me. So make sure that you are planning ahead. Like I said, if you know there's things that you want to do and you have things coming up, don't wait. Plan it out so you can do and take that time for yourself, so you are not burned out. I know with me, my children are into extracurricular. Like my son played travel ball, so I was constantly asking for a schedule so I can go ahead and plan ahead. These are my weekends that I'm going to have to travel. This is the night that I'm going to have this. We have game night. We have this night. So planning ahead will help eliminate the stressors of, what am I going to do? I have this to go to. I have this to do, and now I can't go because I don't have anyone to take care of the person that I'm taking care of, or my mom or my child or anything like that. So planning ahead is essential. Plan ahead as much as you can to keep life simple for you. All right, the next pointer is 5, is make time every day to do whatever grounds different for everyone. And we can go back up to my first point of making sure that you are assessing your needs. When you assess your needs, you know what grounds you, what keeps you grounded, whether it's going to be having a nightcap at the end of the night, whether it's going to be waking up to make sure that you meditate. And meditation keeps you grounded, whether it's going for an evening walk, whether it's going to your favorite spot and just sitting there or reading, or whether it's going to the cafe to read a chapter or two of your book, whether it's, you know, whatever keeps you grounded. Make sure you're doing that daily or twice a week, or however often you feel like you need to do it. Like for me, it's meditation. I have to meditate every day. I want to meditate every day because that's what keeps me grounded and focused. And so I have to make sure that, and the little guy wants to say something, as you can see, but I have to make sure that I plan ahead. Like I know that meditation is important to me, and it's something, or yoga, that is something that I have to do or desire to do every day because it grounds me. So I need to plan my time, making sure that I make time to meditate, make time to do my yoga, make time to journal, whatever keeps you grounded every day. Make sure that you're doing that, because if you move away from that, that leads you to spiral and go into feeling unmotivated and lazy. And I've been there too, so I know how that feels. I mean, you know, caregivers have a high incidence of depression and anxiety and social anxiety, because they have to be withdrawn and just feeling lonely because they feel like no one else understands. But your mental health is very important. Your physical, holistic health, your mental, your spiritual, your physical, all of this holistically is very important to be in alignment, so that you are who you need to be to care for the person that you are taking care of. So make sure that all of this is grounded and taken care of, so that you can be the best caregiver that you can be. And make sure that you are fitting that into your schedule. Not fitting it, but surround your day around it, because that's going to be essential to you being the best that you can be every day and not losing focus. So make sure that you do that. Okay? That's when we go back to the whole planning ahead thing, planning ahead and assessing your needs. All of this goes together, but make sure that you're doing it. And most importantly, take a break. Take a break. Take a break. There is nothing wrong. Just like I said, eliminate those feelings of guilt. There is nothing wrong with you needing a break, Purity. There's nothing wrong with you taking a break, taking a breather. You need that. You need that to be able to give the best care that you can give. Take that break, whether it's an hour, whether it's a full day, whether it's a full weekend, whether it's a full week. And if you put all of those things in place that I've listed up until now, you can ensure that you have everything you need in place to be able to take that break. There is nothing wrong with taking a break. Okay? Do that for your mental, your spiritual, and your physical self. Your whole body. Your whole being. Make sure that you take a break. Okay? Whether it's from your kids, whether it's from the person that you're taking care of, whether that's the same person or not, whether it's from your job, whether it's just from everything and all of your responsibilities. Take a break. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't convince yourself otherwise, because I've done that too. So take that break. Take the break that you need. There's nothing wrong with it. Do it. No guilt. Scott, I'm telling you, the preparation to just go anywhere, it almost feels like it's not even worth it because of all that you have to do to prepare, to make sure that they're in place, to make sure that you're packed, to make sure if you haven't taken anybody with you that they're good. It almost feels like it's not worth it, but in the end, it really is. Take that break that you need, okay? So that's all the tips that I have for you today. Rewind this, scroll back, review it, and I hope that all of this information helps you. If there are any other caregiver topics that you want me to discuss, please leave me a comment below. Don't forget to like this video. Like. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to this channel because I want to provide more caregiving topics as well as other topics. So please subscribe. Make sure that you share this channel. Share this video with someone that you feel could use this, because I know this could be very beneficial to me, to you, to all of us. We're in this together. I'm here for you. And again, let me know below what you think. Let me know what else you want me to discuss as far as caregiving goes. And I thank you so much for tuning in to this channel today. Love and light to you. Namaste.